It's time for the Blunt Ratings. If this is your first time tuning in, this is how the Blunt Ratings work. We take each show and break them down into 5 categories: matches, promos and backstage segments, storytelling, commentary, and the crowd. For each category, each show can get up to 5 blunts. The average score of those 5 categories stands as the official Blunt Rating. Those are the rules. Now let's get right into tonight's edition of the Blunt Ratings.
We want the smoke.
Talk to him.
We want the smoke. We want the smoke.
Come on, Charlie.
Hey, WoW Nation, what's going on? It's your boy, Mr. HD, in the building. You already know what it is. KGM, I see here, and my guy was cracking. We got a lot to get into, and the kid is asleep, so I want to get as much of it in before he wakes up. So we got to run through all of the news in a little bit, but before we get into the news, we're going to do the Blunt Rating, since there was a pay-per-view, or, excuse me, premium live event this past weekend on Saturday, to be exact, and a pretty damn good one, if you ask me. So we're going to get into that. We're going to, let me make sure I'm on the right thing. Boom, 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 boom. Want to make sure I got all these cards for you guys all loaded up already so we can go through these. Boom, here we go. All right, I'm going to switch over to that scene, and we're going to go through the matches one by one. We're going to give the Blunt Ratings as we talk about the matches. Switch it up a little bit for the pay-per-view Blunt Ratings. So Crown Jewel, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. It's headlined by Roman and Logan Paul, which we'll get into in a minute. Outstanding match, spoiler. If you haven't seen it, which by now I'm sure you have, excuse me. So let's start off with the first match of the night. Kind of a surprise that it was the first match of the night, but we got Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley, part 2. And yeah, this match was good. It started off really fast-paced. Bobby Lashley just beat the shit out of Brock Lesnar for about 5 minutes. He had him in the hurt lock, and Brock pushed off of the ropes, and Bobby fell on his back while he still had the hurt lock on, and the ref counted 3. Like, I was into the match. I was excited. I was like, oh, man, this is starting off hot. This is good. Okay, I'm into this. And then it just ended, like, out of nowhere. It was literally out of nowhere. I was confused. I was like, wait a minute. Why is this match ending this way? But it did. And, if you haven't noticed, if you haven't watched it back, because I watched the pay-per-view twice. I watched it again yesterday while I was watching the games. And Bobby's shoulders weren't down. So I don't know if that's going to play into the story at all, but clearly he had the hurt lock on. So technically neither of his shoulders were on the ground. And if you look at the video and the images, his shoulders clearly aren't in. He has very big shoulders. So it was a bad finish. It definitely was a bad finish. Gruss was cracking. Supervillain is in the building. We got wrestlers talking about the IWC now, so it's a real thing. Our universe is real. You know what I mean? Just so you know, it's a real thing. We'll get into that later. But yeah, this match it lasted exactly 6 minutes, and it was a good match. It just had a bad finish. Like, Brock Lesnar, Bobby Lashley matches shouldn't last 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. I'm good with 6 to 10 minutes for the match. You know what I mean? 6 minutes may be too short, because it did kind of end out of nowhere. But a 10 to 15-minute match could end up being a classic between these two guys if they put their best foot forward. Don't really need much more than that. But the finish was kind of poo-poo. But, it was what it was. After that, we saw Byron Saxton interviewing Alexa Bliss backstage, and Asuka too. And we saw the Bray Wyatt logo pop up on the screen. They're just randomly standing in front of a screen, and, the Bray Wyatt. Clearly, Alexa is still tied to Bray Wyatt somehow, some way. But that led to the women's tag team title match between Asuka and Alexa Bliss and Damage Control's Dakota Kai and Io Sky. Now, I predicted this match correctly because I thought that it was a mistake to have the titles on Asuka and Alexa. And I also took into account, I don't think I mentioned this though, that Asuka is like being tied into other storylines and different things. So I don't see her and Asuka lasting as a tag team for much longer, if any more past this match. But we'll see. I think they'll probably be doing something for War Games. They'll still be in the mix, but we'll see what's cracking with that. But the match was really good. Like, I really, really enjoyed these matches, especially once again the interactions between Asuka and Io. Like, I just really need to see a feud between these two. You know what I mean? Io could be the bad guy. Asuka could be the good. Asuka's like better as a tweener. Asuka's best character is when she's a tweener. When she's like, you don't know if she's doing like heelish shit, but she's like dancing and you like her. So it's like, is she a heel? I'm not sure. I like it. So, but she's like, you're like fucking people up for no reason and shit. I miss that NXT Asuka. You know what I mean? That didn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? So, hopefully one day we return to that form. I know she's, kind of a little more colorful now, and she's just as over as she's ever been. I guess even being muddled in random tag teams and not having really, she has feuds but nothing to sink your teeth into like she had when she was in NXT in NXT. That's weird to say. But what's up, Robin Plays Games? What games do you play, Robin? And what do you play them on? Random question. That's what's up. Welcome to WoW Nation, my guy. Hit that sub button if you haven't already. Thank you for being here. But like I said, the match was fun. It was fast paced. Bailey wasn't out there because she was preparing for her match that was coming up later. So we got a fair match all the way through. Like all the way through the match, it was fair. Until it wasn't. Until it wasn't. Because I think Asuka went to the top, or no, Alexa Bliss went to the top rope to try to do Twisted Bliss for the second time. First time she called knees, but this time she went up there and just out of nowhere, Nikki Cross popped up and pushed her off the top rope, and allowed Damage Control to take advantage and get the win. After a really good match, these ladies got a lot of time. How long the match was about? Well, no, it was 12 minutes and 50 seconds. I have the exact time here, so. So good match. I think the right team won. I'm cool with Alexa, and I think there was rumors that maybe the Saudi Prince wanted to have some title changes go on, and this was the best way was to just take the belts off of them real quick and put them back on them. But whatever. I don't really mind that part of it. The fact that because sometimes that happens. You get a rematch and you lose the rematch after you just won the titles. Like, you can't always have the person who just win the rematch, because then it's just like no one ever believes that the rematches will be pointless at that point. So I'm not opposed to this outcome, and I think Damage Control should have the titles anyway. So I also think that Bailey should have the title, but that's a whole nother story. We'll get into that in a minute. But this was good. This was good. I really loved the Asuka and Io interactions, man. It was so much fun seeing them in the ring together. Just looked like a match and a feud that needs to happen multiple times in WWE and soon. We saw a promo for Becky Lynch. She's coming back soon. We already know that. Michael Cole did the whole, pumping up Riyadh and whatever. Not about to get into that. But then we had Drew McIntyre go up against Karrion Kross. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I did say I was going to do something, and then I just didn't do it. I'm tripping. Robin Plays Games said, you got a PS4, you play COD, Apex Legends, 2K. That's what's up. I got a lot of games on my console, so I play random games. Yeah, man, I'll play one game for like 2 weeks, and then I'll go back to work. Like, I love video games. I just don't have any time to play them. But here's the blunt rating that I gave Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley. I gave it a 3.25 blunt rating. I thought, like I said, pretty good match, but the finish was wonky. And which one did we just talk about? The women's tag match, I gave 3.75 blunts because I did enjoy this finish. I'm not mad that there was interference. Like I said, keep the baby faces strong. They got cheated out of the titles or whatever, but Damage Control, the right team has the titles. I'm not mad at any of this. And the wrestling was really good in the match. Like all these ladies can go, uh, you know, all, former champions in their own right, so uh, world champions at that. Asuka and Alexa have both held women's world championships, and Io and Dakota have been NXT Women's Champion. I think did Dakota ever win the championship? I think that whole when she was Raquel. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did Dakota ever win the NXT Women's Championship? I feel like she did at one point because she was on fire at one point. You know what I mean? When she turned heel, she was on fire. I can't quite remember if she ever got the belt though. I could be wrong. Maybe she lost to Asuka. Maybe that's what it was before Asuka left. I don't fucking remember. It's too many matches. But but yeah, that's what I gave that match. 3.75 blunts. A really good match. I enjoyed it. But next up was Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Kross in a steel cage match. And before I dig into this match, I will like to shout out Drew McIntyre. You know what I mean? I don't even really want to say nothing bad about the match because apparently the man had the fucking swine flu. Not the swine flu, but he had the flu like the whole time to where people were talking about they should cancel the match and he shouldn't even be flying. I wouldn't have wanted to wrestle him. Like, nah, I'm going to be sick. What if I got to miss work? Because you gave me the flu. On a plane with a bunch of motherfuckers, you sick as shit. But that'd be more of a reason than, worrying about your own health, or worried about your coworkers and stuff. But regardless, I'm sure he wore his mask, you know what I mean, and flew over to Riyadh and had a pretty decent match, man. The thing with the reason that I don't like cage matches and I like Hell in a Cell, at least I don't like the rules to cage matches or Hell in a Cell because I don't like the whole one person can escape through the door or you can climb over. I think it should be you can only climb over to win. Or that wouldn't work because then the fat motherfuckers would never be able to be in Hell in a Cell. So maybe it should be the door. But I don't. Sometimes those spots work, but usually those spots don't work because the person that could, just walk out the door usually ends up looking stupid. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what happened in this situation. These guys, had a knockdown, drag out match. They were beating the shit out of each other. Scarlett couldn't interfere because she was outside the cage. But oh, wait a minute, she did interfere. And man, I bet she came up with something super original that no one's ever seen before in wrestling. Nope, she did the same thing she did 2 weeks ago. Sprayed him with pepper spray. So, I was like, all right, man, whatever. Yeah, I mean, but these guys were, beating the shit out of each other. It was a hard hitting match. Like I said, gotta give Drew his props because he went through this with the flu. You know what I mean? He had his flu game, and it was still a pretty damn good match. You know what I mean? But Scarlett closed the cage door and locked it. You know what I mean? At one point after it had got open, and then she was holding the key up to Drew, and he tried to go for it, and Scarlett unlocked the door because Drew was like, "Okay, you're gonna lock the door. I'm gonna just climb over the top." And then Scarlett, dumbass, she fumbling around with the key while Drew's climbing over the cage, and she's so slow she can't even open the door to let Karrion out because he's like, "Bitch, open the door. Who told you to lock us in? Wait a minute, what happened? What's going on? Let me out." So she's trying to get it, and she can't unlock the door, and Drew ends up getting out and winning the match. So, it was what it was. Big baby face win for Drew. Karrion doesn't look stupid. It more looks like his girl fucked up. So I guess he doesn't look that weak. You know what I mean? But, and the match was good. He took, he got a lot of offense in. You know what I mean? He worked over Drew a lot in the match. I don't really know. I'm not. I think I could see these guys in different feuds. But I do like the dynamic between them. Maybe I just need to see it again. But they've done. I don't know. It's not over with me. This feud isn't over with me. It's decent match though, so I don't want to be too hard on it. And the blunt rating, I don't even remember. I did these blunt ratings right after the show, so I don't remember. I gave it. Oh wow, yeah. So feelings are still the same. It got 3 blunts. Yeah, I mean, it was what it was. It was a match. We need Nikita Lyons in leather, patent leather, leather, spandex. Any of them will work. I mean, leather is cool, but leather you can't really see every. Like, you know what? I like the cotton. Just give me the cotton. The cotton go up in the crack of the ass, and then you see the jiggle. The leather just takes away the jiggle. You know what I mean? You need the breathable cotton. You know what I mean? Oh God. Yeah, yeah. That's a good looking woman, man. Cross is trash. At least we seen Scarlet in leather. Yeah, I mean that was the bonus. And I was like, isn't the goal to not be sexy? I was like, damn. She could wear a potato sack. Like, it don't matter. Like, Scarlet just looked good. You know what I mean? It's like, I remember Sasha and them one time in the town, the first couple times they had like long sleeve white shirts just over their gear, just looked dumb. It looked like they were, now everybody got gear made for when they're over there, so they all got long sleeve gear. Gotta shout out the women's tag teams. They had matching gear and all their gear was fire. I think I mentioned that during the watch along a few times. I really enjoyed the gear. But yeah, this match got three blunts. It was what it was, man. Nothing crazy. Next up after that we had we saw Roman Reigns and Jimmy and Paul and Jay and Solo all appear in their black SUVs like they the president. And then we had Judgment Day, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, Damian Priest, and Rhea Ripley, who has hair now. She got extensions. She got a long braid, make her look even sexier. You know what I mean? Not like before. It was like, she's hot, but not really into the whole short hair, black lipstick. But with the braid, with the long hair, I'm imagining things, and it's just like, I'm a hair puller. You know what I mean? And all kind of thoughts. You know what I mean? And Rhea's hilarious. I love how she plays into the IWC and all our fucking thirst for her, our recent thirst for her. You know what I mean? I know she and the brothers before she was dating who's she dating over in AEW, Buddy Matthews. She was dating a brother. You know what I mean? So I know she like black guys. So, that makes her even more sexy. I might have a shot. You know what I mean? Joking. But she came out with Judgment Day and they were going up against the OC, AJ Styles, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson. And this match was fun, man. This match was fun. I enjoyed it. It was a 3-on-3 match. Everybody got stuff in. You know what I mean? Everybody got stuff in, and you kind of knew. Well, I think a lot of us assumed, right, that someone would show up to fix the Rhea Ripley problem, but that didn't happen. No one showed up, and Rhea Ripley caused mad interferences again and helped Judgment Day get the fucking win. I was a little confused. You know what I mean? It's like, this match was long, one of the longer matches on the card. Styles and Balor had a great interaction. I think Michael Cole mentioned Bullet Club, you know what I mean, and New Japan or some shit during the match a couple times. Like, so it felt like some New Japan shit that we were watching almost with Finn and the OC and all those guys in there. Dominic didn't look out of place. You know what I mean? Dominic has found his groove. Let's just call it what it is. Rhea Ripley has gotten Dominic Mysterio over. His father couldn't do it. But Rhea did it. You know what I mean? Sometimes, you know what I mean? All you do need is a good woman by your side. You know what I mean? It's just rare that they exist. So you got, you know what I mean? We find one. You know what I mean? Even though technically she's not a good woman, she's manipulating the fuck out of you, made you turn on your family, cheating every day. So technically, but in the wrestling world, you know what I mean? As a heel, she's a good woman for you. You know what I mean? And that's the goal in life. You know what I mean? So this match was pretty good, man. I enjoyed it. This was one of the more fun matches on the card. What did I give this match? Let's see. I gave this match, 3.75 blunts. See, it was fair. Yeah, I really enjoyed this match, man. I think most people who were watching enjoyed this match. Rhea Ripley's interference without any comeuppance is kind of disappointing. You want to see her get her ass beat, and I'm not really sure who they're going to bring in to do it. Chelsea Green's been rumored that WWE wants her back. It could be Beth Phoenix, obviously, who was put out with Concerto and all that shit. So, it could be something like that. Like, I feel like at this point, they could have 4 War Games matches and that be the whole Survivor Series pay-per-view. You know what I mean? They don't need to have any singles matches. They could just have 4 War Games matches and just call it a day like that, because I mean, there's so many feuds and crews, and we'll talk about that a little later too. But there's a lot of factions forming in WWE, 3-man groups, 4-man groups, stuff like that, man and woman groups. So, and Michael Cole definitely got points when he said that. Michael Cole was like, he was mad. He was mad. He said it aggressively. He feels like me. You know what I mean? Somebody needs to whoop her ass. I was like, yes, Michael Cole. That's exactly, yes. Somebody needs to whoop her motherfucking ass. Like anybody at this point. Like she put herself out there. I mean, equal rights and equal lefts. Like she body slamming motherfuckers, punching motherfuckers in the dick. Like, I'm sorry. Man, woman, animal, or maybe a child could get past, depending on how big and strong that child was. If it's a big child, you might get it too. You know what I mean? I'm just punching people in the dick and body slamming them and clotheslining them, doing all the fucked up shit. Smash my wife's head in with a chair. Like, come on, man. What's going on out here, man? She crazy, but she's also hot. You know what I mean? Especially with that braid. You know what I mean? It's just her attitude. Rhea Ripley is dope. Plus, she's a phenomenal wrestler. She's not even having wrestling matches, and she's more over than she's ever been on the main roster. Think about that. This is on some Stone Cold Steve Austin when his neck was hurt type shit, and he wasn't wrestling matches. He was just doing backstage skits with Kurt Angle, and he got over as a fucking heel when nobody wanted him to be heel, but he got over it because he was so fucking hilarious and singing songs and shit. Like, this is Rhea Ripley. You know what I mean? She turns heel and she's not even wrestling matches, but she's just doing cool shit, and everybody wants to see her every week. You know what I mean? And you want to see her get her comeuppance, you know what I mean, eventually. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't turn Judgment Day babyface at some point. No time soon. They just got hot. Don't do that anytime soon. But at some point, I think, people will start to respect Dom and his work and how much he's improved. Finn Balor is a fucking legend. Damian Priest is great. Rhea Ripley is great. So, they got the talent. So I think Judgment Day should be together for a long time. I really do not want them to break this group up, and I hated this shit when they started it. So I guess that's a credit to Triple H and what he did with them, because their presentation completely changed when he took over. So shout out to them. Judgment Day did get the win once again over the OC. Good match, or decent. Good. It was a good match. It was better than the previous match. So after that, we had Seth Rollins video package because he was one of the stars that wasn't on the show. Sad face. But yeah. So after that, we had a much talked about match. A much talked about match over the last couple days in the Twitter sphere. And I'm sure Gruss's favorite match. And Gruss, listen, man, I think you won the day. Physics is our new WoW Nation predictions champion. I guess I will put that out there. But Gruss won the day because I think that Amos is a thing. I think Amos is a thing now. I think he's a legitimate pro wrestler now. Did I just say that? Amos is. I want to see him do another match. Am I? Did we teleport into another universe? I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. But next up, ladies and gentlemen, or gentlemen, it's all guys in here. We had Amos versus Braun Strowman. Now, according to Braun Strowman, it was 47 5-star match. I don't know how many stars that is. That's a lot. But this shit was actually really good. Like, I was fucking in awe. Not because it was like the greatest wrestling, but I was just shocked because I thought it was just going to be two plotting big men. Like, this shit was better than Brian Cage and Wardlow. It's like, for real. And they were doing flips and shit. You know what I mean? Like, we'll talk about that a little bit more afterwards. But Yeah, it's like I enjoyed this match. Like, MVP wasn't there because he's an atheist. You can't be an atheist and be trying to go over to Riyadh. It's God over there. You know what I mean? So Allah don't like no atheists. So MVP couldn't go over there, unfortunately. But to each his own as far as religious beliefs. I don't judge people based on their religious beliefs or non-religious beliefs. Don't care. Doesn't affect my day. So, uh, you know, uh, hope MVP enjoyed his days off. But almost came out by himself in new gear. He had wrestling gear on. He didn't have a fucking dumbass 50 Cent tank top on. Remember remember 50 Cent brought these new tank top styles around, and my mouth is so fucking weed, man. Got cotton mouth like a mother. But yeah, so he came out in the gear had a hood on, and it was like some form shit, but it was actual wrestling gear, and it was brown. He looked like a giant turd, but still looked like a giant intimidating turd. So I ain't mad at him. But he came out. Then Braun Strowman came out, and Braun Strowman looked very small compared to Amos. Braun Strowman is listed at 6'8", 3 something, and Amos is listed at 7'3", I think 7'3", 7'4", 400. I'd say 415 pounds or something like that. I was like, damn, he's 400. I guess if you 7'3", you are about 400 pounds. That's crazy, man. He's a literal giant. But this match, it went longer than the Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar match. Like, these dudes wrestled. Well, they kind of wrestled. It was more like splashes and clotheslines and lockups, but they were doing stuff, and it was like cool. Like, Braun Strowman was trying to body slam Amos, and he just couldn't because Amos too big. But when Amos body slammed him, he was like, "Bitch, you a piece of paper," and just body slammed him with one arm. So they were really putting over how dominant Amos was during the entire during the entire match. It started off doing a test of strength, which I mean made sense because Braun Strowman is a strong man. Like, just because you bigger don't mean you stronger. So Braun Strowman tried it. He failed. He failed. Amos is also strong as a motherfucker. So he basically dominated the whole match, and fucking just out of nowhere. The match had gone on they had probably done as much as you could think that they would do. It was like, all right, so how this is gonna end? And then it ended abruptly as Braun Strowman picked him up. He got him dazed somehow, and then Strowman got him up and did the running power slam. It was kind of like a one-step power slam. Can't be running around with Amos. But yeah, he hit him with the power slam for the 3 count. And Amos wasn't really out. He was kind of just like dazed. It's because he like kicked out right after the 3. But I'm okay with all of it. I'm okay with Strowman winning. Obviously I'm okay with the match. I thought the match was really good. I thought Amos and Strowman looked great. They made each other look great. Strowman selling how he did for Amos, and Amos talking the most shit. I tweeted out. I tweeted out live while we were doing the watch along. Y'all remember? I was like, "Yo, this is." It's like, I don't know what version of Amos this is, but I like it. Like, this is like some. This now he's scary. Like, you talking this much shit. Like, now I'm in. And you beating up Braun Strowman, not a jobber. So Nah, I don't think Amos should have won because I want to see this again. If Amos wins, what's the point? I mean, you could have the babyface trying to get over the giant, like the monster trying to beat the giant. You could do that whole thing. So I guess either way it could have worked, but I'm not mad at the finish. I think it was cool. But impressive match. What did I give it as a blunt rating? I like that I don't remember these because then I'm surprising myself. 3.5 blunts. Yeah, I gave it 3.5 blunts, man. Good match, man. I would have expected this match to have been like a 2 blunt match. Honestly, I would have expected. I wouldn't have expected it to be this good or this entertaining. It definitely wasn't 47 5 stars though. So- but it makes me want to see it again. Like, I definitely want to see this again, 100%. I would like to see these two in a cage match. You know what I mean, or something kind of crazy. You know what I mean? Stipulation. Put them in a ladder match just because I want to see if they can make ladders that big. Nah, them ladders will hurt somebody. Like, I can't even imagine they would have to do those reinforced ladders and somebody would get hurt, impaled or some crazy shit. It was 5 blunts. You know better. Stop it. It was let's give him some, leave him some room for improvement, Gruss. You know what I mean? We building it up. I'm not, listen, what I am not going to do now is sit up here and talk like Amos doesn't have any potential to be great. Because Andre the Giant is a legend. Paul White is a legend. Like, there's room for that person. How many 7'3" dudes you see that come in that can actually move and wrestle? Amos can run the ropes, my nigga. Like, Andre couldn't even run the ropes. I mean, he could, but he's more like just bouncing off of them. Like, Amos is athletic. You know what I mean? Maybe not as athletic as Braun Strowman. I don't really know. You know what I mean? He's a different type of build, but I'm not gonna sit up here and act like he doesn't have the potential to do great things now. You know what I mean? That I've seen what he can do. I like that he was by himself. You know what I mean? I like that he didn't have MVP with him. I think that MVP should go back with the Hurt Business. I think Amos should turn on MVP and be like, I just beat him without you. I don't need you. And then they could reform the Hurt Business. We'll talk about that during the news portion of the show. But I want to see all 4 of the members of the Hurt Business back together. If we can, who knows. But I really enjoyed this match. Wasn't 5 blunts. I'm not going to break my blunt rating scale. You know what I mean? I'm not going to break it. Yeah. Oh, man. After that, we had the men's tag team championships. And I can't say the Raw and SmackDown or Raw SmackDown because one team has them both. The Usos went up against Ridge Holland and Butch of what's the team name? The Brawling Brutes. And this match was fun, man. It was a fun match between these guys. We've seen interactions between these teams already. Nobody in their right mind thought that the Brawling Brutes was going to win. Not at any point ever during the match. It wasn't even. There wasn't any moment during the match that I thought the Brawling Brutes were going to win. They did a bunch of tributes to Sheamus. They did the beats on Jay at one point. It might have been Jimmy. I don't fucking remember. He did a white noise. Holland did a white noise. They were doing a bunch of Sheamus tributes because obviously he's off getting married. He's actually injured in storyline. Yeah, Gruss, thank you for pointing that out, Gruss. Thank you. Hold on. I'll be forgetting to put these on screen. Thank you for pointing that out. I need to show last comment. That's what I'm going to do, show last comment button. Yeah, because he terrifies me in the ring. I ain't going to lie. He fucking terrifies me in the ring. Every time he does a suplex or picks somebody up or anything, it looks like he's about to drop somebody on their fucking head. And it's scary. I ain't going to lie. Like, it just is. And we're still traumatized because one of our favorite wrestlers ever is not on screen and may never ever be on, in a wrestling ring again because of this dude. And it doesn't really look like he got much better. He still does things. And like when he did that white noise, he almost dropped him like right on top of his head. I was like, yo, that's death. Like death. You can't just drop like with force like that. Like you gotta be careful, bro. Like make sure you tuck in that man's head and like it's whew. Thank you for pointing that out, Gruss, because that was a fact. That dude scares the shit out of me. But there was the finish was fire as shit. I will say that the Usos got Butch up on the top rope and did a 1D from the top rope, which looked pretty devastating to retain their titles. This match was cool, man. I enjoyed it. Not sure what I gave it for a blunt rating. Let's see here. What did I give it? I gave it a 4. Yeah, there we go. The best rated match on the show so far. Obviously, not done. But this Amos is safer than Holland. Yeah, I would. Yeah, that's Amos is safer than most wrestlers, honestly. I mean, everything probably hurts when he hits you. You know what I mean? But that's just part of the game. But he's not injuring motherfuckers. Not that I know of. He's doing, and his moveset is so basic. You might get a concussion from being thrown down on the mat from 30 feet in the air when he does his finisher. But yeah, he's as safe as a green wrestler like himself can be. He's as safe as anybody can be, honestly. You know what I mean? But yeah, that match was really good, man. Fast-paced match. Butch out there breaking fingers. He's just Pete Dunne now. He's got his gear. He's got his hair back. He's Pete Dunne. You know what I mean? doing all his old moves and shit. Like he's Pete Dunne now. So is but Pete Butch Dunne, I guess. But we got a graphic showing that the Usos are going to be facing off with the New Day for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships on Friday SmackDown. Obviously, the New Day are trying to keep the Usos from breaking their longest ever reign as tag team champions. So cool. You know what I mean? I'm with the shits. Makes sense if you're gonna have the New Day and the Usos go one more time. Hopefully, one more time. Just one more time. But after that, we had Bianca Belair versus Bayley in a last woman standing match. And let me close this. And the match was good. It was really good at moments. Like I enjoyed the in-ring stuff. Some of the outside of the ring stuff was a little wonky. The golf cart thing, especially when I watched it back a second time, was a little weird because Bayley was kind of in cruise mode. And Bianca was kind of just standing, like it just looked a little goofy. You know what I mean? And the table spot was cool, but what I don't like is, can they like start putting the slit on the table like underneath or something? Because then when they didn't break the table, you could clearly see that the table was pre-cut. There's a big ass line right down the middle of the table, and it just like, all right, it was like, okay. the table's already pre-broken. We knew that, but damn, man, don't let us see it. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I don't know. At least put like some more gloss finish on there so you don't see the fucking crack. If that does, I don't fucking know how to get around that. But the match was good. It was entertaining. The finish was creative because I don't think I've seen it. And I can't really tell if Bayley could have gotten out of it. Maybe she could have, but it looks like her legs were kind of trapped as well. And Bianca kind of like sandwiched her inside of a ladder and shoved the ladder in the corner so the back of the ladder couldn't be raised because it was stuck under the ropes, which is a really creative way to try to trap somebody. But it almost looked like Bayley could have like crawled out the side. But I honestly, looking back at it, I don't think she would have been it. Maybe it'd take her 3, 4, 5 seconds to think to do that, and then I don't think she would have got up to her feet in time anyway. So I'm cool with the finish. Plus, I've never seen that before, so it was a little creative. So I'm not mad at the finish. Some people's like, oh, she could have just stood up. I think the match should have ended when Bianca got thrown in the crate, or was it Bayley that got thrown in the crate? They had like a trunk, and one of them got thrown in the trunk. I can't remember who, but. She should have just sat on it. I think Bayley went in it, and Bianca should have just sat on it because you could definitely like hold somebody under things. We saw the whole fucking bloodline trap Brock Lesnar under a bunch of furniture, stand on the shit, do some more shit. We've seen that done before. So if you put somebody in the trunk to where they definitely can't stand up, that's how all these matches should end. Now that I think about it, if it's a last man standing match, your goal should be to lock somebody in the trunk. And it's like they can't stand up. Lester Hornswoggle. I don't even think he could stand up in one of those trunks. So, it was a couple little spots that kind of took me out of it, but I still enjoyed this match. I thought it was a good second go for these ladies. I think they should probably do it again because I think Bayley should win the title. They're making Bianca look super strong. She's on her Super Cena shit right now. She can't be beat. No matter what happens, she always overcomes the odds. I don't mind it because I love Bianca Belair. Sometimes her promos are a little John Cena-esque as far as the cheesiness and the corniness of it. But it's the babyface shit. That's why everybody likes being a heel, because being a heel is more fun. You can be more creative. Babyface, you got to pretty much do the same standard shit. Even Jon Moxley is one of the greatest baby faces around in wrestling right now. You know what I mean? All his promos are kind of the same, but they all be fire. Jon Moxley's a different level. he's able to keep his from sounding corny, but it's still the same stuff. So it's like you hear it and it's like, all right, that's the hype, fired up John Moxley promo. You know what I mean? He gonna bleed for this. He gonna sacrifice everything. He gonna do it. You ain't willing to give up what he willing to give up for this. It's the Moxley's thing. You know what I mean? He gonna cut the promo, but you pretty much know what you gonna get. You know what I mean? So Bianca kind of has that, but it's a little more cheesy when she does it. Kind of like John Cena used to. Well, John Cena was creative, but you know what I mean, guys. But this match was good. What did I give it as far as a blunt rating? Let's see. I gave this match 4 blunts. Yeah, 4 blunts for this match, man. 4 blunts. Good match. You know what I mean? Couple little wonky spots. More production stuff. You know what I mean? The golf cart and the table. Even I like the table spot. I like Bianca using her braid to pull Bailey off of the top of the fucking golf cart onto the table. Like, I like that. But the table just didn't break. But that kind of made it look more vicious because, clipping a table like that on your back. I mean, Shawn Michaels almost ended his career like that, like clipping the outside of the ring. No, he fell on a casket or something, I think, against the Undertaker and just clipped landed on his lower back like that. And you know what I mean? It was like 4 years before we saw him wrestle again. He came back in Elimination Chamber and won the World Championship and all that. But he was out for a long time. You know what I mean? But she picked her up after that and power bombed her through it, which looked vicious, even though the table was already pre-cut. But it was what it was. Good match by these ladies. I enjoyed it. There we go. And then after that, we had what we have. We had Bray Wyatt come out and do the Bray. It was pretty much the same thing he did on SmackDown. Uncle Howdy was there and some cryptic stuff. I need the next thing. I know it's coming. I'm patient, so I'm not mad. You know what I mean? And you ain't gotta waste that shit on them. I don't think they really react to the shit the same way that we react to Bray Wyatt over here anyway. So I feel like, okay, just let him go over there and do the same thing he did over here. Add a couple different words to it, but he's pretty much going to say the same thing. A little more heelish coming out, a little more, people saying, the crowd was chanting, "We love you," and he was saying, nobody loves me, and then he was like, "You guys don't love me. I don't even love me." I was like, oh shit, okay, he's a little angry there. So you see the anger coming out a little bit more every time he speaks with Bray Wyatt, and this Uncle Howdy character basically telling him, yeah. Come back to the streets, buddy. You know what I mean? I know you thought you was done, but we out here. You know what I mean? We out here. Once you win, it's blood in, blood out. Ain't no getting out the game. So the Fiend is coming back, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I would hope so anyway, because the Fiend is awesome. And we're still getting a lot of this, same cryptic stuff from the Fiends, from the, past Fiend stuff. So, and we got the Firefly Funhouse and all this shit. You got to bring the Fiend back, the official Fiend, not whatever that was at SummerSlam, because I don't know that short person. I don't know who that was. But then we had the motherfucking main event, man. The match everybody's talking about. Well, unless you're Braun Strowman. But the match everyone else is talking about is Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman, obviously, going up against the YouTuber Logan Paul for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. It sounds crazy. It's crazy sentence, but it actually happened. I promise. And this felt like one of the matches of the year. What did I just say? I can't believe I just said that. Am I high? I feel like I'm high. I don't know why I just said that. Maybe it was. I feel like this might have been one of the matches of the year. This is crazy. This is, oh, man. The match was fire. I mean, I heard people complaining. I heard people actually complaining that Logan Paul got too much offense and he shouldn't be getting that much offense in on Roman Reigns. I'm like, wait a minute. He literally fought Floyd Mayweather. What are y'all talking about? It's like, and y'all saw him wrestle already. He's really good. Like, what are y'all talking about? That's like saying the Miz wouldn't get no offense on Roman Reigns. Yes, he would. And Logan Paul beat him. So it's like, why would he get no offense in on Roman Reigns? I mean, maybe Roman Reigns looking as scared. But see, I don't even mind that because I think it was more like, nigga, I can't lose to a YouTuber. It wasn't like I'm scared of him. He might, somebody beating me. It's more like if I lose to a YouTuber, this is the most horrifying way that I could probably. So shit, this motherfucker might hit me with one lucky punch now. So I don't mind that dawned on him during the match that he could actually get hit because Logan went for a big right hand early on in the match, and Roman got out the way and slid out the ring. And then these two just proceeded to have a banger, man. Like Logan Paul does the. Okay, maybe no. I like Logan Paul's better. It's official. I like Logan Paul's frog splash better than Montez Ford's. I don't care that Montez Ford jumps through the ceiling because he, the way that you remember how Eddie did it and RVD did it and the people who made the frog splash hot, you remember how they did it. You know what I mean? They spread their legs, they look like a frog, they tuck their hands between their legs, came back out, hit mad impact. Like that's what we want to see from a frog splash. You know what I mean? And the other version is cool too. But I want to see the 5-star shit. I want to see the Eddie Guerrero shit. And Logan Paul executed a beautiful frog splash to Roman Reigns. And that wasn't even all that he executed because this motherfucker set Roman Reigns up on the announce table at one point. Got a phone from one of his boys that do the podcast with him. The phone was live streaming, and this motherfucker decided to do a dive onto Roman Reigns onto the announce table while live streaming. That's one of the illest things I've ever seen in wrestling. And the clip went viral. Obviously, it's all over the internet. That's one of the illest things. Like, he buried Austin Theory's gimmick. Like, Austin Theory ain't never done nothing like that with his cell phone. So he just buried Austin Theory's whole gimmick. Like, bro, just put your cell phone back in your pocket. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. So, I mean, Logan went all out, man. He went all out. You got to respect the dude who comes from the YouTube space, you know what I mean? And who isn't really that well liked, you know what I mean? Just as far as the culture, he's just really popular. Being able to come in and win fans over and put on this type of performance. And as a babyface, like, he wanted to be a babyface. It wasn't really working because people just want to boo him. But when you put on performances like this, it just makes people have respect for you. And it's just like, damn. All right, man. All right, you gonna wrestle like this? I'll fuck with you. You know what I mean? So, he hasn't had a bad match yet, and this was probably one of the best ones. You know what I mean? Which is crazy. You know what I mean? It's like, this probably was the best one, but he hasn't had a bad match yet, and this is definitely one of Roman Reigns' best matches during his title run. You know what I mean? Which is crazy. You know what I mean? I think it's part of it is the spectacle, but also part of it is how Logan Paul wrestles. You know what I mean? He wrestles really good. He wrestles like he's been around for a long time. But yeah, the match carried on. Obviously, there was a little fear that the tribal chief might not be able to pull it off, I guess, at one point. So, we got a lot of interference. All the shenanigans happened. The Usos came out and start interfering in the match, trying to interfere in the match. Who took them out? Who took the Usos out? I forgot who took the Usos out. Jake Paul. I was like, who took the Usos out? It was somebody out there. But the Usos came out there, and then Jake Paul's music hit, and he came out and threw some punches. He like shoved some, he mushed them, and I don't know what that was, but his work punches are not good at all. He hasn't been training like his brother. But yeah, he knocked out both of the Usos, which was weird. That part was weird because Logan, we've seen wrestle, he's done things, but Jimmy and Jay just running into fucking wild right hands from Jake Paul was just kind of like, I don't know. I don't know about that one. But yeah, he wasn't able to help too much because he distracted. He got Logan distracted because Logan just dove on everybody at one point. But then when he Got back in the ring, got Superman punched and speared. Roman got the win. This match was fire, man. It was like 25 minutes almost. It was really good. I hope y'all can't hear those sirens. I hope y'all can't hear that. But yeah, this match was fire. Which I say in the chat. What's up, Nigel? Thanks for stopping through, my guy. Good to see you. Logan is the truth. Yes, he is. Logan Paul Frog Splash remind me of D'Lo Brown. Yeah, D'Lo Brown was another one who did a fire frog splash. D'Lo Brown was just a great wrestler at the end of the day. But yeah, you saw the phone. Yeah, that shit was dope, right? Is Laylo the next Logan Paul? Absolutely not. I am not. I have a bad knee. We'll get into Logan's knee in a minute. But I'm an old man. Logan's what? 20, 28? I don't even know how old he's young. I'm an old man. Yeah, apparently, I don't know if that's real, if that's true though. I don't know. I've done it, and I mean, it's possible because I did my shit and I got on the elliptical because I thought I just sprained my knee or something. So I tried to work out. I went and tried to play basketball again afterwards because I thought I just hurt my leg. I was like, I work it off. I'm just out there doing more damage to my shit. So it's maybe he did. We'll see. We'll see. If he's in a cast, obviously, because you tear shit like that and you surgery cast, like you know for real. And he doing mad shit outside of wrestling. So if he's showing up to places with no knee brace on and no cast, then you know it's full of shit. So we'll find out eventually what's going on with his knee. Logan versus Seth would be a fire match. Logan versus anybody at this point. He's a pro wrestler. The dude's a pro wrestler. Like, let's just call it what it is. He's a YouTuber also, but he's also a pro wrestler. Simon Miller's a YouTuber. He pro wrestles too. You know what I mean? He's trying to become a pro wrestler. So, you know, people can do both. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. So, yeah, man, those were the blunt ratings. Oh, what did I give this match as far as a blunt rating? What do you guys think I gave it? I don't even remember what I gave it. What do you guys think I gave this match? Don't say 5 blunts. That's ridiculous. Don't do that. What did I give it? 4.5 blunts. Okay, that's fair. 5 blunts would have been crazy. 4.5 blunts for this match. That was fair. I thought the match was super entertaining. Everything about it was good outside of Jake Paul coming in and throwing those weird-ass punches. But everything else in the match was good. I don't care that Logan got a bunch of offense in. You know what I mean? It's like, I just don't care. You know what I mean? He's an athlete. He's clearly an athlete. Look at him. He's like 6'5". You know what I mean? And chiseled. The dude is clearly an athlete. Like, I don't care that he's getting offense in on the champion. He's already had good matches. People complain about the weirdest shit when it comes to wrestling. The goal is to be entertained. Sometimes y'all think a little too hard about the shit. Sometimes y'all think about the shit a little too hard. Sometimes it's like, yo, was it good? Was it good? Did you enjoy it? Yes, it was a good wrestling match, entertaining. That's the fucking goal. That's the point. You know what I mean? It's like, it had a story. These guys been building this match from a podcast from 6, 7, 8 weeks ago. Like, they put some work into it, did press conferences and shit, put on a great show. Like, and you're complaining that you wanted all that buildup for a 2-minute squash match by Roman Reigns just because Logan Paul's on his 3rd match? That would have been dumb as shit. You know what I mean? That would have been dumb as shit. Dave Meltzer gave it 2 stars. You're lying, Gruss. You are lying. I don't believe that. Meltzer didn't do that. Meltzer did not do that. Meltzer would be high as shit. Meltzer be trolling, though. Meltzer be trolling. Meltzer be like, whatever the internet like, I'm a shit on. Just cuz. Did he really give it 2 stars? That would be crazy. That would be absolutely crazy. But anyways, guys, we got a lot of news stories to get into, so we're going to transition over and start talking about this news right after the intro.
Wrestling on weed.
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 Wrestling on weed. Subscribe today. Otherwise, we're gonna have a problem.
All right, guys, we are back with the news. I'm still working on the format of this show. We're going to be changing some things up on the fly over the next week or so. Physics will be here with me, or Trav will be here with me on Thursday. We're doing the Thursday show at 6 o'clock now, so Super High can join in on Thursdays because he does work a 9 to 5. So I want to make sure that he can get in and do and review his favorite show, AEW Dynamite. So we'll be doing the Thursday show at 6 o'clock from now on. So you guys lock in for that on Thursdays. Mondays and Monday we'll be doing the blunt ratings for SmackDown on Mondays from now on as well. Most times, unless there's something else going on and we can do them during the weekend. But the shows will be on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays going forward, and then we'll be mixing in all the other content on the other days. But we got a lot of news to cover. Let's get into what we just finished talking about, and that's Logan Paul and Jake Paul. Logan Paul did appear to injure himself. Well, he didn't appear to injure himself because he worked through the match just fine. It didn't look like nothing was wrong with him, but he did do a bunch of crazy moves. So apparently he tore his MCL, meniscus, and possibly his ACL. There hasn't been any actual confirmation on that, but he's going to get word here soon. I would imagine he knows at this point. I would imagine he went to the doctor already and he knows. I'm not sure why the official word hasn't come out. That's why I'm assuming that it's work just to keep him off TV because he's probably going to wrestle like twice a year. You know what I mean? So, let's keep him off TV until the Rumble, or that's kind of soon if you tear your ACL. But, Mania, definitely he's probably going to be at Mania, I would assume, probably against Bad Bunny. I really want to see that match. Like, honestly, because they got real life beef, and I really want to see Bad Bunny versus Logan Paul. Like, it's crazy that they're both WWE superstars and they got beef on some whole other outside of the wrestling world shit. If you don't know, go look it up. Bad Bunny, Logan Paul, Puerto Rico. It's a bunch of craziness, property ownership, and a bunch of craziness they got going on. They've been dissing each other outside of the wrestling world, cutting real promos, burying the shit out of each other. So I want to see that match at WrestleMania, personally. So he's hurt, possibly. Pootie Pie coming to WWE. I don't want to see Pootie Pie. Just hearing his voice no. He has the least intimidating voice. I wouldn't. We need JD from NY on WWE. How tall is he? He looks super short. I don't know. Not that I'm not against short wrestlers, obviously, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's tall. I don't know. The internet is weird. Like, I'm 6 foot tall, and I feel like I'm way taller than him. Just from, I don't know, man. I could be wrong. He looks like he's like 5'6". Snoop Dogg as the ref. Nah, me as the ref. I want to be the ref. Let me ref because I can't wrestle. I could take some bumps. No, actually, I want to be a manager. Like, I'm genuinely like thinking about going to wrestling school to try to become a wrestling manager. Just so I could try to infiltrate the wrestling world from that side. I would love to be on TV cutting promos and talking shit like MVP does. You know what I mean? But not wrestle ever, ever. I take some bumps though. I take a spear or some shit like that. You know what I mean? As long as I ain't got to do nothing with my knee. That's the key. As long as my knee I ain't got to jump off or nothing. Or I'm good. We good. But yeah, speaking of, Jake Paul has some things to say about his performance and his brother's performance. Okay, he was the worst thing about that match, first of all. I was okay with him being there, obviously, his backup for his brother and all that shit, but those punches looked fucking horrible. They were the only bad thing about that entire 30 minutes it was more like 40 minutes with Roman's intro. But the entire time all those people were on TV, like, that was the worst thing we saw, was Jake Paul's punches. So he said, I think he was speaking, I don't know who he was talking to, but he said, this is crazy. He was speaking with Seconds Out. It's a podcast. He said, for sure, why not? They were asking about if he have an interest in having a career in WWE. He said, for sure, why not? That was so much fun, and I know we could take it a long way. And yeah, I loved it. I loved everything about it. And then everyone here, everyone in the WWE was super nice, super helpful. So it just seems like an amazing company to be a part of. He said, who knows? It feels like just the start for sure. Um, Another question came up. He said, maybe a potential grudge match between the Bloodline and those guys, and Jake and Paul. And he said, the Bloodline, whatever, bro. I don't know. I just wish I was out there sooner to help. This is him in character, I guess, to help Logan. But I mean, Roman Reigns, he's dope. He's cool. He's a great fighter. But at the end of the day, if we do this for a little bit longer, the Paul brothers will be WWE champions. Which I think. Y'all want Logan Paul as WWE champion? As any type of WWE champion? Is that me personally? Just me, my personal opinion. Logan Paul could be a WWE champion. Jake Paul, get him the fuck out of here. I don't know, unless I see some wrestling like his brother, unless he gets good at it like his brother. I'm not just saying because your brother's good, you going to be good. That ain't how it work. I need to see something. But Jake or Logan, yeah, Logan could be IC champion, US champion, WWE champion. Why the fuck not? You know what I mean? Obviously not tomorrow. You know what I mean? But the dude is fucking good, man. Let's just call it what it is. And he's bringing eyeballs to the game. Like, that's what we want. More people watching wrestling, more people watching wrestling, more people watching the podcast. Like, I'm not mad at Logan, man, because the dude is talented. You know what I mean? I'd rather see Logan Paul wrestle than a number of people. I'd rather see Logan Paul wrestle than Karrion Kross any day of the week. And I like Karrion Kross. Who would y'all rather see wrestle? Logan Paul or Karrion Kross? Okay, then. You want to see Logan Paul or Natalya on your TV screen. You know what I mean? Who you want to see wrestle? Oh, man. So, I like to see Logan Paul versus Braun Strowman. You know what I mean? I like to see something like that. I want to see Logan Paul go up against a big dude and see how he could bounce around after getting, beat up and tossed around a little bit. See him take some more bumps. But he's already good at selling for the most part. So, yeah, I'm interested to see how that would work out. Let's see. I guess we got to talk about the elephant in the room. It's not an elephant. It's a monster. Braun Strowman, who decided to hop on Twitter. And I guess troll everybody. I don't know what his idea was for getting on Twitter and saying the ridiculous things that he said. He got on Twitter and he said, what did he say? I'm gonna get this quote right. He said, "Holy hell," and he added Amos. He said, "Can you believe we got 47 5-stars?" And reminded the people that no one cares about all these floppy floppers, giants and monsters greater than flippy floppers. Flippy flipper, bag your groceries at Kroger. Hashtag airport test, hashtag size is the prize, hashtag swole is the goal. Now, I read that tweet and I'm like, he's clearly fucking joking. That is he's trolling y'all. Like, he's saying flippy flapper and, you know what I mean? He's saying holy hell, we got 47 5-stars. Like, I know he's come down on smaller wrestlers in the past. After he left WWE the first time, he said some stupid shit on the internet. But this sounded like a troll, but people didn't take it like that. They were waiting for their chance. They were waiting for him to say some stupid shit so they can get on his neck, and they definitely did. Chris Jericho chimed in and said, "I used to bag groceries." You know what I mean? And, I guess, Braun Strowman was dissing people who bag groceries. I guess, that's the one thing they got out of that. Will Ospreay also chimed in and basically told him, "Bro, just chill, man. You finally had a good match. Just relax." People enjoyed that shit. Why can't you just let people enjoy it, man? Now you're gonna make people hate you all over again. Will was like talking to him like he was his big brother. Like, let me sit you down, man. Let me tell you how. It's okay. You can diss me, man. Listen. I'm secure in my own, so it doesn't. Let me tell you how I can help you. Will was on his big brother shit. Mustafa Ali was just trolling him. Mustafa Ali was just petty. Mustafa Ali was like, "Can you teach me how to get fired?" Oh man, I was like, "Damn, bro, damn." Braun was like, "Ain't you back in catering?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm back. I was back in catering, cooking you." I was like, "Okay, you just lost, Ali. You had it, and then you lost it. Like you can't. That's not a good comeback. I'm mad at people on the internet acting like that was a good comeback. Yeah, I'm back here cooking you and catering. All right, man. What are you 5? That was that was the best you could do. You ain't thought of no better comebacks to the catering jokes than that. I'm sure you've heard them before. But the 47 5-star shit just cracked me up. That did like it was clearly him being facetious or just being a troll. You know what I mean? And he came back and later and said that he was like, "Come on, guys, I'm about to get on this flight, man. It's just trying to troll y'all. I thought it was funny. It's not that serious." What was his? Let's see if I get his exact quote. Oh, I don't have. I lost his exact quote. I already, I already deleted it. But yeah. So he was basically just, "I'm kidding, guys. To all my bros and sisters in the back, you know what I mean. I respect each and every one of you guys. I think Braun Strowman is black, or at least he likes black women, or he got a lot of black friends. Because the way he tweets, he be sounding like a brother. I ain't gonna lie." He be like, "Nah, y'all, I don't, y'all tripping, man. I ain't, I'm just these jokes, man. Get these hands, man." Like Braun is like a brother. I ain't gonna even lie. I fuck with Braun Strowman, man. But he says some weird things. Yeah, I mean sometimes, but he's also extraordinary talent as far as his look and persona. He probably leaves a little bit to be desired in the ring. You know what I mean? Not coming out, not really having 5-star classics, but you know it is what it is, man. I thought that was a pretty funny interaction on the internet. I'm mad that people actually got mad. Like when the personal attacks came, you know, when Mustafa shit was just kind of, it was, it was just like, come on, bro. You pointing out the man got fired. Like and you work with him. Y'all in the same company. Like that wasn't pleasant for anybody. You just reminded us of all the other people that got fired. Bray Wyatt got fired too. What kind of shot is that? Like that's not even a good diss. He got rehired when the smart people were in charge. Like it wasn't. And you should have been. I never mind. I don't even want to say that. But come on, Mustafa. You still not over yet, bro. Like Braun Strowman has been over multiple different times. Yeah, I mean, like that was just not. I don't know. Mustafa didn't win me over with that interaction with Braun. But it was what it was. I think most people took it in jest. And once he came out, I was like, man, I was just fucking with y'all. I'm just, trying to get the internet riled up a little bit. And clearly it's very easy, especially on Twitter. Lord, do I know after the last couple days. Twitter is a funny place, but I like to troll too, so I'll be with the shits. So he said Jade was in the first for Jade. What's up, Hops? I ain't see you sliding here, man. He said Jade was in first place for bad diss from Ali Facts. It was the mother's basement was the corniest shit. You know what I mean? It's like then he gonna come up with this dumb shit. Like all these motherfuckers just got like y'all don't, that's how you know they not and they're not good at promos. It's like it's like some people ain't good at talking. You know what I mean? Jade's promos aren't, she says the same 5 lines every time. Cut the shit. It's like, I mean, Mustafa ain't cut a good promo, maybe one in his life. I think the promo he did on set, the promo's been like he's fiery, but it's just like they don't land. You know what I mean? They don't land. So, I don't know. That is funny though. She was in first place, especially for the month or the 2022 for corniest comeback on Twitter or social media. But yeah, Ali definitely took that spot. Plus, Jade is hot, so I forgive her for all of her transgressions. She'll be better. She will be better. Another satisfying racial moment. Right? Was that it? Was that the moment? Oh man, what else we got to talk about as far as the news? Nick Aldis gave his walking papers to TNA. He's given notice to Billy Corgan, the owner of NWA. I said TNA, like that's a thing. That's Impact. But yeah, NWA. So not sure how this is gonna play. He's clearly their biggest name. Forever champion, it feels like. Uh, but my question to you guys is, where do you think that Nick Aldis is gonna land? Because clearly, I don't think he's done with wrestling, and he's really, really good at wrestling. So, you know what I mean? To me, Nick Aldis is like the modern day Ric Flair. Like if there was like a Ric Flair, like he kind of reminds me of, methodical, slow pace, can pretty much do everything, good at grappling, wears the expensive suits. You know what I mean? He's got the Ric Flair in him. I fuck with Nick Aldis. You know what I mean? I would prefer. I'm gonna be a hypocrite if I say this. Okay, I'm gonna say it this way. I think AEW needs Nick Aldis. He would be better suited for WWE because they know how to build characters like that. I don't know any characters like Nick Aldis in AEW, so I feel like they need someone like that. Someone who wears suits and speaks a certain way and is, because you got a bunch of those guys in WWE, namely The Miz is probably the most identifiable one off the rip, you know what I mean? But the well-dressed guy. Seth Rollins kind of, but Seth Rollins isn't really the classy guy. He laughs like a weasel. You know what I mean? So he's not really, and Miz has his thing. I would give Miz like he's got Ric Flair tendencies, but I fuck with Nick Aldis, man, is what I'm trying to say. And I'm interested to know where you guys think he might end up now that he's gave his walking papers to TNA. Why I keep saying TNA, NWA. You're right. It's the same thing, Dave. It's pretty much the same thing. None of them matter. Tony Khan is son. Yeah, Tony Khan is definitely good. Tony Khan already sent them the contract in the mail. He emailed them a copy. It's like, yo, this the paper copy is already in the mail to be to you tomorrow. I sent it over. Matter of fact, I'm gonna fax you a copy right now. Just sign it. Don't worry about it. Just sign it. Just put how much money you want, and I'm gonna give it to you. Oh man, it's so fucked up because it's true. He's definitely gonna sign Nick Aldis. I mean, anybody would be smart to sign Nick Aldis, but damn it, AEW ain't got the TV space or the roster time. Maybe he shows up in Impact when they finally get their TV deal, which would be a great get for Tony and the Impact roster. But I think Nick Aldis is past that. I think he needs to be in WWE or AEW, and not on Darker Elevation or Rampage. He needs to be on Dynamite. He's that level of talent. And I think the entire industry knows that. Obviously, he's had some heat backstage in certain companies, and even with NWA, had his issues with them. So maybe working relationships aren't always as smooth dealing with him. So maybe that'll factor in, but. I like the guy's wrestling ability. He's a great promo. He's a talented dude, so I want to see him pop up and get the opportunity on the big stage. That's just my opinion on it. What else we got to talk about? I guess I'll mention this real quick. It does look like War Games is going to be featuring the Bloodline. We saw the War Games promo at the pay-per-view, and it did have Roman Reigns in the promo. So I'm assuming that we're going to get the 5 members of the Bloodline going up against Jake Paul, Logan Paul. No, I'm joking. They'll probably be going up against like the Brawling Brutes and the New Day, or I think Drew needs to take some time off. I think he's like all worn down. He just got the flu. I know it's still 3 weeks away, but I don't know. Maybe he's not in. Maybe he's doing something with carrying still. Kevin Owens, you know what I mean, is a possibility. There's some names that have been thrown out there. I think the most likely is the New Day, since they're fighting them on Sunday. They'll probably keep that going for a few more weeks. And the Brawling Brutes, the people who are already in the feud with them. So we'll see how that turns out. AEW, speaking of AEW and them having too many people on the roster, uh, I was already under the impression that they had already signed this guy because we talked about it before. But I guess they were just thinking about signing him. They had not actually signed him, or maybe they just sent him the contract and he was mulling it over because he did have offers from WWE as well. Apparently, WWE offered him a contract while he was wrestling his first match on AEW. They were putting out fillers and trying to contact his people or whatever while he was like, "Yo, this guy's go. He'll hit his people up." He didn't even finish the match, man. What if he botched the end or something? Maybe you might change your mind. Relax. They was on him. And the wrestler I'm talking about is Bandito. Remember the guy who came out looking like the Latin Klansman? It's like, bro, the all-white mask is not a good look. Don't do that ever again. I'm just coming out here like Bandito, the Grand Master, the Grand Wizard. That's what I was like, nope, can't be a fan of that guy. But obviously, he's a phenomenal wrestler, great in the ring. He killed it in that match. I think he's had a couple at this point in AEW and done great. But Tony Khan has officially signed him. It's a good wrestler, man. What you gonna do with him, bro? Like, when is he gonna be on TV? Is he gonna be? Are you building the Impact roster? If he has a TV deal already in the works for 2023 and that shit's going to launch in the first couple months of 2023 and we just haven't heard the news break out or something, he's just building the roster for Ring of Honor by signing all these talents, then cool. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Sign these people, have them off to the side. They getting their checks or whatever. I'm all for people getting checks as soon as possible, as often as possible. So, I mean, good for them. You know what I mean? Obviously, they signed, so they felt that it was the best decision for them. But obviously, we've seen that not turn out not so well for a lot of people. A lot of people are upset that they signed those contracts. Aleister Black and Miro and definitely Andrade and Cody Rhodes already bounced. There's a lot of people who changed their mind after they, signed that contract, and all of them didn't have offers from both companies. Like Bandito could have been in WWE, so he chose Impact roster. What did I say? What am I saying? Did I say TNA again, or did Ring of Honor? Y'all know what I'm talking about, man. The other brands that don't matter. You know what I'm talking. Ring of Honor, Impact, TNA, NWA, CCA, I don't even know what that is, GCW, ABC, XYZ, 1, 2, 3. None of them matter. The two brands that I know are WWE, well, 3, WWE, AEW, and New Japan Pro Wrestling. Those are the 3 wrestling companies. Nothing else matters. Don't come to me talking about, hey, man, you ain't see nothing happening. No, I didn't. I did not. I don't even watch Rampage. The fuck? I watch the shows that matter. I'm busy. I'm a father. I have other businesses to run. Can't be watching 7 hours of wrestling every day. Got me fucked up. But y'all know what I mean. If I don't say AEW or WWE, I'm gonna just start saying other. Oh man. I am high as fuck though. That is accurate. I've been hitting my vape pen. I wasn't a big fan of Clandino either. Yeah, that shit made me uncomfortable. That shit made me Clandino. That was clever. Jeff Jarrett gonna do a GFW invasion. Hey, please, God, no. Please, God, no, man. I don't even want to see Jeff Jarrett come back on AEW TV. I don't need to see Jeff Jarrett, man. But Bandito has been signed. Interesting, to say the least. Natalya broke her nose recently in a match against Ronda Rousey. Quick injury news. Get well soon, Natalya. Drew, obviously, I told y'all Drew that had the flu at Crown Jewel. Should mention that. He's a soldier. Shout out to Drew. Bobby Lashley did an interview recently and said that he would make sure that we got the Hurt Business back. So I'm going to hold you to that, Bobby Lashley. You said it, not me. Nobody told you to guarantee that or say you was going to make sure that happened. But obviously, the Hurt Business was one of the most over-heel factions in WWE during the pandemic. Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander haven't really done much of anything at all since the Hurt Business was dissolved, and it was dissolved way too early because Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard are fucking idiots. Let's just call it they're fucking idiots. They didn't know what they were doing with anything or anybody, and Triple H is going to fix everything. So, Papa H, holding it down. Hopefully Lashley gets his wish, all of our wish, and the Hurt Business is reformed. I mentioned it earlier. I would like to see MVP get turned on by Amos. He can't turn on Amos because he already turned on Lashley, but then he just absolutely couldn't trust him. But if Amos beat him down and said, I ain't need you anymore, and, MVP had to go crawling back to the Hurt Business and they reformed or whatever, he appreciate his boys more. He not treat Cedric and Shelton like, second-class citizens because, he just experienced that from Amos. You can get the group back together, you know what I mean, with Lashley being at the forefront, Lashley being the heel going up against Brock Lesnar in the future. So, definitely want to see the Hurt Business get back together, however they got to make it happen. And also, I guess we'll talk about real quick, we got to talk about Sasha Banks. When don't I ever want to talk about Sasha Banks? I would like to just spend most of my day just talking to Sasha Banks. If I could, I would like to spend the rest of my life talking to Sasha Banks. How did I get there? I don't even know how I just got where I went. I don't even... It's about to get deeper. Let me just stop. Sasha Banks, God, beautiful woman. Hopefully she's on our wrestling TV screens again very, very soon, and it's looking like that may be the case. WWE is weird, though. They put her in the Then, Now, and Forever package to open the show this weekend, or Friday. It might have been SmackDown, but she was in the opening, and they had took them out like right after they walked out the company, so they kind of took them out all the video packages or whatever, and they happened to be in this one. Sasha and Naomi, and then when everybody start pointing it out, because fans be watching everything, when they pointed it out, WWE basically came out and said, well, there was word, I don't know if it was who, WrestleVotes or Meltzer, somebody was just like, no, they just made a mistake. They just, apparently somebody pushed the wrong button or uploaded the wrong video, and they weren't supposed to be on it, but they're on. Like, shut up, motherfucker. We know they coming back. This motherfucker Sasha Banks training all over the world, like, they about to do Summer Survivor Series in fucking Boston. She coming back, motherfucker. It ain't no secret. Like, she's not going to retire from wrestling forever. She's under contract. She can't wrestle nowhere until she fulfill her contract with y'all, so she definitely coming back. We know this, you know what I mean? And we know y'all going to pay her whatever the hell she wants to get paid because she's Sasha fucking Banks, and you need her. She don't need you. You know what I mean? I think she's shown that. I think Naomi could go off and do other things if she wanted to too, but Sasha's definitely up out of here. You know what I mean? It's like she's gone. She could be the next fucking Rock or John Cena or some shit like that if she wanted to. But she's already in a Star Wars fucking series. Like, she already gone. So, she's coming back. We saw her training in Mexico or whatever, and she popped up at this thing with Bailey and some, I don't even know who the other girl was, honestly, but taking pictures with them and, just popping up everywhere, showing her faces, in the wrestling world again. Because at first it was just red carpets and photo shoots, and I'm doing some music and blah, 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 and I'm just Mercedes Vernado, and, but now, back to being Sasha Banks, you know what I mean? She looking more jacked than ever, just ripped, you know what I mean? Look like she been working out like a crazy woman, ready to get back in the ring. And she's, basically out there going around the world training. And I, for one, cannot wait to see her back in my wrestling ring. I want to see Naomi back, too. I really think Naomi should join the Bloodline because eventually I think we should be doing the OC versus the Bloodline at some point down the road. You know what I mean? And I think the Bloodline needs a female member, especially as a heel faction. You see how it's working for Rhea Ripley. That China figurehead always works, man, if you got one in the bag. But, yeah, man, that's it for the news. Those are the news stories I think we got for today. And, yeah, we're going to get up out of here. And, I'm going to see y'all tomorrow. What y'all talking about in the chat? Rumor has Sasha Banks becoming the first IC Women's Champion. If Sasha Banks is able to make WWE make a mid-card women's championship after she just made them make tag team championship, she's, literally a fucking legend. It's like, bitch, I brought 3 belts to this company. It's all my idea. I mean, but, also being a part of starting the women's revolution in wrestling. Like, I think that's, I mean, I don't think we need I think I do like a mid-card women's wrestling title. I want the all women's pay-per-view to come back. You know what I mean? It's like, so that could definitely be a thing. They just have to make sure that they're making these feuds make sense, because the tag team division sucks in the women's division. You know what I mean? On the main roster. I don't really watch NXT that much, so I don't really know. They ain't got that many tag teams either. But WWE main roster really ain't got no tag teams. That's why they just throwing together Asuka and Alexa, because there is literally no one else. There is no other zero. I'm do this one more time. Name a female tag team on the main roster. Name one. Name one. And don't say Ronda and Shayna, because they not official yet, even though I hope they do become official. But nah, it ain't happening. You know what I mean? So they got to do something with the tag team division before they start bringing in other belts, in my opinion. All right, man. See, I was trying to get through the stream without even talking about this. I was trying to, why you have to do that? Why you know what you, get that. Let me get I got to find where's my buttons at? Oh, here we go. That was for you, Gruss. Or KGM. Why you had to bring that up, man? Why you had to bring that up? It was 17-0. Devontae Adams was just like running by the defense. Y'all cornerbacks was lost. They couldn't do nothing with. We were up 17-0. It's the 3rd time we've done that this season. Blown a 17-point lead when the other team had no points. It was like we show up for the first part of the game. It's like the first quarter, we be lit. We be like, yo, we hype. Let's go. We bombs away, baby. Touchdown, Devontae. Touchdown, Devontae. And then it's like, all right, guys, I think, yeah, I got an appointment. I'm going to go suck for the next 3 quarters. Yeah, we're 2-6. So, or 2-5, whatever we are, 2-5, we suck. We're in last place. Still only like 3 games out of first place, ironically, and there's an extra game this year. We're not out of it, but we out of it. The season's over. And, you know what I mean? The Jags look good, man. ETN looks like a beast, man. He's the real deal. And I'm losing fantasy leagues right now because of him, because I drafted him in all my leagues. I drafted him I had him on 4 different teams. And he started out so slow, and I was like, he's a rookie. I was like, oh, this was a bad pick. And I picked him in like the 5th, 6th round, too, in every draft. That's a important pick, and dropped him like after week 2. Soon as I drop him, he just becomes the best running back in the entire. They cut James Robinson. He gets all the I'm just like, what the I'm losing matchups by 2 points now. I'm like, no. He's supposed to be on my team. Man, him and fucking Kenneth Walker. I had both of them motherfuckers on my team the first couple weeks of the season, man. Like thinking I'm ahead of the game. Yeah, I'm going to get these handcuffed running backs, blah, blah, blah. But the 2 that ended up exploding and becoming starters, I didn't keep on my team. You know what I mean? I kept motherfuckers like Rashad White and Herbert and all these motherfuckers that the starter ain't getting hurt at all. You know what I mean? So, or if he do, he be gone for like 1 game. These motherfuckers got the whole season wrapped up. You know what I mean? They cut James Robinson for ETN. So, yeah, Jags looking all right, man. Got quarterback. You know what I mean? Christian Kirk looking all right, man. I got a little squad over there, man. Defense not bad. I ain't mad at y'all, man. I ain't mad at y'all. I wish the Raiders were better, though. But I'm going to get up out of here. The kid literally just woke up. Appreciate you guys locking in. You already know what it is. I ain't joining Cowboys Nation. I live in Washington, D.C. area, man. That is not how it's going down. Don't feel a Bears fan. Yeah, Bears. Well, wait a minute. Y'all looked great yesterday. Y'all lost. I would have took a loss like that as opposed to giving up a 17-0 lead. Justin Fields looks amazing. Y'all just got another receiver next to Mooney and Claypool. Y'all defense is already all right. You know what I mean? It's like, Y'all got two really good running backs. Herbert might be a great running back. Like, y'all gonna be all right. Y'all rebuilding. We spent $500 million over the summer. It's like, it's way different expectations. We trying to get to the Super Bowl, and we 2-6. Y'all not even, Bears ain't even think about the playoffs. We thought that the Packers was gonna run away with it. Now the Bears actually got a chance because the whole division is trash. Well, not really, because the Vikings ran away with it, but you know. It's like the Bears are better than people thought they would be, and we are way, way, way worse than people thought we'd be. So, you know what I mean? Shout out to the Bears. I like Justin Fields. I tried to go pick him up this morning on fantasy. Everybody, he's already gone. He's snatched up. I was like, damn it. Every league, they knew. I was like, I should have picked him up last week when he had that decent week. This week, he just went almost 200 yards rushing. That boy wild, man. That boy wild. But that's it for today. I'm going to get up out of here. I see y'all tomorrow for the Monday Night Raw blunt ratings and more news joints that come out from the rest of the day. So appreciate you guys locking in. As always, like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already, WoW Nation, you know what it is, man. I'll see y'all on the next one. Deuces.